tends to like putting people into boxes. From a young age, we're encouraged to stick to things like gender roles. We all know the drill by now. Pink is for girls, blue is for boys, and if you try to step out of the box, you're reprimanded in some way. If not by your own parents, by your peers who may pick on you, although they themselves are likely also victims to the system in a way, as being part of the group is a lot safer than straying away from the crowd. Incidentally, that's also why you get a lot of not like other girls, aka pick-me girls. When you try to force someone into doing something, it's probably going to have the opposite effect and make them not want to do it. It's embarrassing to me now, but I was definitely one of those girls growing up. I was already socially awkward, and it was obvious I was never going to be one of the pretty popular girls, so instead I tried going the opposite direction. I was adamant that I hated the color pink, hated wearing skirts, hated makeup, just anything remotely girly. In hindsight, it's kind of funny now, because I had obviously repressed a big part of myself that I am only now finally starting to reclaim. But there was another part of me that I still took along with me, back from those days. For those who don't know me, hi, I'm an artist. If you were asked to look at me and guess what kind of art I specialize in, I wouldn't blame you for immediately thinking, kawaii. I mean, yes, I did drum and rig my own model, and with enough studying and practice, I can emulate other art styles too. But what I'm most comfortable with drawing is actually this. Yeah, I really love horror. My birthday being on October 31st is purely coincidental, although you guys can totally mark that down on your calendars, no pressure. At this point, you're probably wondering what Gap Moe is. For those who don't already know, Gap Moe, also called the Moe Gap, or in the original Japanese, Gyapu Moe, is a term that describes a character with traits that contradict with their initial first impression. The gap is, of course, this contradiction, with moe being endearment and attraction towards someone. An example would be your standard jerk with a heart of gold characters, tough on the outside, soft on the inside, or this fucking Pokemon that everyone is obsessed with right now, me included. Or, in the case of myself, a person who loves wearing pink and sparkly things, but is an enthusiast for all things dark. But I'm not the only one. In truth, we all have some form of Gap Moe, and that's due to the simple fact that humans aren't as one-dimensional as society tries to force us to be. We are multifaceted. We all have our own individual backstories, appearances, likes, and dislikes. Unlike fictional characters, who we are doesn't have to serve a larger narrative. I can dress cutely one day and goth the next. Heck, you could say that when I dress goth, my high-pitched and soft voice would be another form of Gap Moe. I used to be very self-conscious of myself. In fact, I still am. But back when I was a kid, growing up in an environment where I was essentially at the bottom of a social ladder, invisible at best and picked on at worst, I really had no sense of who I was. I struggled with feelings of disassociation constantly, like I was somehow floating inside of my own body and looking at myself but seeing only a stranger. At times, I'd wonder if my own name really did belong to me. I thought that wearing a superficial label might help, but all it did was further distance myself from, well, me. I don't quite remember when exactly I started to come out of my shell, but it was probably towards the very end of high school. You know, the period of time where you finished all your exams, your college acceptances are coming in, and it's finally starting to hit that you're really gonna be done with this era for good. Once I graduated and moved, I took that chance to start anew. In a new country, a new city, no one knew who I was, so I was able to take a deep breath and rebuild. Now, almost 7 years later, I am still discovering new things about the world and about myself each day. whole idea of Cat Moe didn't really stick until a few years ago. I think because at that point I was still fumbling around with school, figuring out what I wanted to do in the future, still having no idea what my art style even was, and of course struggling with the social media algorithm because it's yet another box that forces us to operate like company brands. I'll talk about that in another video. Next time, perhaps. When I suddenly thought to myself, hey, you know what? Shouldn't I just make this my brand? That was a bit of a turning point for me because up until that moment, I'd really been pushing myself to make cute things and cute things only. And you can see a lot of it in my earlier merch designs, even though I know deep down that I didn't actually really enjoy it as much. Of course, I still make cute things once in a while, but that's only if I really want to. You know what I found? People really like it. They like that I look one way but act in another. There's a reason why Cat Moe is such a popular trope. Actually, a number of reasons. It could differ from person to person, but I feel that these contradictions really appeal to our desire for deeper human connections. It shows that there's more to a person than just how they appear on the surface. And, of course, maybe they're speaking to the people we are deep down. Multidimensional and more than just our labels. Thanks for watching. Hey guys! This was my first time doing a video essay, although I'm not sure about calling it an essay as it's more just me rambling into my microphone. Still, if you enjoyed it, I'd appreciate it very much if you could leave a like and comment and maybe subscribe too. If you're generous, to let me know that I should make more videos like this. Thank you again for watching and have a lovely new year.